Hey guys, it's Wanda from Crazy Days. It's time for a greenhouse tour, and we're going to start outside and do just a quick tour outside before we go inside. But we have the black shade cloth, which is Danny's kingdom, the white shade cloth, which is Wanda's queendom. And yes, a lot of people say we shouldn't have his and hers. It's just a way of keeping this. We both work in both of them. I just got through watering everything and weeding. And yeah, you're going to see some weeds. I didn't get all of them, but we're good. Get some. We're going to start outside on the raised beds outside. Here we have an apple tree, some garlic chives, a raised bed, another apple tree, two more raised beds. This raised bed, and yeah, if it wasn't for these chamber bitters, this would look nice. I have not gotten all this out, but look at this. These things come up everywhere, and we had it 5 years ago. We didn't have these things, but look, every leaf has seeds underneath. Look at this, lots and lots of seeds. And so when I pull them up, they're still going to do, but look how thick. This is not grass, this is chamber bitters, and they just take over. See, my garlic is starting to, these are garlic chives starting to go. But look at this, strawberries. And yes, I've weeded and weeded and weeded, and there's still weeds. I'm trying to keep these things alive so in October we can move them because they're making babies. But look, they are trying to bloom, and it's fixing to be September 1st. This is the end of August, last week of August. The heat is getting them. You see how they're doing? And look, see, I have little strawberries, but they never mature. This is what we're getting in this heat. And I water day and night, but the intense heat just keeps them. I'm just basically trying to keep them alive right now. But you see, they were trying to make berries in August. Isn't that crazy? I'm going to show you the ones in Danny's greenhouse in a few minutes, the difference in the leaves and stuff. You see how dry and blotchy these are, even with watering twice a day. In between this raised bed and the other raised bed, nothing but garlic chives, all kinds, and these are going to seed also. And then we have our oldest apple tree here, and it's putting on some new growth. We thought we would end up taking it down, but it's still hanging in there. We got some apples. We're good. We ain't taking it down till we have to. This was our carrot bed. Some of the seeds came up even after we pulled carrots. So y'all, I've been watering and trying to keep these few carrots alive. It may not look like many, but any carrots is the way we look at it. And so I keep this bed weeded as much as possible, which is not totally weeded, as you can see, but some. And I keep watering the carrots every day, and they're big and pretty. And it's going to be time to pull them before long because Danny's got plans for this bed. This is kind of a walkway where we go in and out and go to here to get into the greenhouses. You see it needs weeding. It's mainly chamber bitters. You see that? No grass at all, but chamber bitters. If we didn't have these things, our life would be so much easier. This is our onion bed. I have fought and fought and fought to keep these things alive. They all got, these are the old-fashioned multiplying onions. They were beautiful about 4 weeks ago. They had started multiplying. You can see how this one has already turned into 3. This one's turned into 4. Most all of them are at least 2, if not 3. And the heat hit. It's been 30 days plus over 100-degree heat indexes. I come out and I water this bed in the morning. I water it in the evenings. And over here, I'm not sure, we've got some creature biting some off. The roots will be good and they'll come back out when it cools off. But guys, you've been asking, we're trying, and in this heat it's kind of difficult. But I'll show you some that we have put in the greenhouses, trying to up our game with these. This should be totally, these things should be this tall and 6 to 8 bunches in every one of them all the way up and down. And the heat hit, they went backwards. So that's our multiplying onions, our old-fashioned multiplying onions. They're hanging in there, but y'all, they're not doing what they should in this heat. So we're going to jump into Danny's kingdom with the black shade cloth right quick. He has mainly trees. This one we're transitioning out because we have a third greenhouse going up at the cabin. We're going to be doing some transitioning. Some of this stuff will go to the cabin. We'll turn this one into something else. We're just waiting on hurricane season. We're not putting the third one, the plastic, on until hurricane season's over. Now, right now, the asparagus, we downed everything in it, and it's starting to put on little asparagus again. We're getting a little bit in here. And we're going to extend this bed probably and have more asparagus in the future. Down here is his Freedom blackberries. He did not get that limb trimmed, and it's already up to the ceiling, so it's got to be cut back. We've had a second crop on these things. They're doing great. And all I can say is Freedom blackberries is the biggest. Well, look at this. Wow. Okay, not all of them have finished yet. We have some new ones on new growth producing berries. So we will have berries in a week or two. I'm amazed. That's new growth. So there's probably others there we just hadn't seen. So the Freedom blackberries doing great. This is one of our second year peppers. There's two of them there actually. Danny's done got the peppers off of them, but they are producing like crazy. You can see in here, he comes out here and gathers them at least twice a week, and they're blooming. See some blooms in there. These produced like crazy last year. They're producing this year. As you can see, all his trees, we have such a variety, and I'm not going through them. They're all healthy, looking good, but something I noticed, look right here. We have a blueberry that is trying to bloom in this greenhouse, and it is, see here, this is the end of August. Kind of crazy, but we're going to see what happens. These are more of the multiplying onions. You see they've multiplied. These are not as tall and big, but look, that one bunch probably has 6 in it right there. They're multiplying better, so for selling we may do pots or in the raised bed somewhere in order to have plenty. Now here and on the other side of the Freedom blackberries is empty. We have nothing there. We are getting ready for winter crops. This side is empty. I've got this pot. This is a raspberry. It's a wild raspberry going until we can get it transferred and something built. We're just keeping it alive. I've also got a few roots. I'm trying to root some more, but otherwise this is empty all the way down to the other peppers. Danny's grapevine is doing fantastic. This is just a, I don't remember what kind of grape, but it's a regular grape. We thought we would try it in the greenhouse away from our muscadines, and one of them died right off the bat. The other one has went crazy, and it's doing really awesome. Bay tree here is doing good. Malabar spinach in between here is doing great. I put sweet potatoes in here, and you see they're going crazy. I think I have 3 sweet potatoes to see how they do in here. These were planted way later than anything in the garden. His peach trees, some of them bore, some of them did not. His Columnar apple, hanging in there. He's got little shoots starting to come off, so he's kind of proud of that. Different apples, pears, whatever he's got going on in here. I don't know what all of them are, but we get into the citrus. The kumquat, put on kumquats and is blooming now. This is after we bought it and took all the others off. I mean, it's loaded. That tree over there is loaded with limes. Grow Family Network brought us that one, and the limes are growing. They're getting to be good size. This is the Meyer lemon, I think. And look at here. The lemons are kicking it. So some of our citrus is going, even though it's late in the season. The banana trees, you saw from the beginning, they're getting to be big banana trees. I have my Cosmos is kicking it here again. The Malabar spinach, look at the size of those leaves over there. the heat's kind of getting to them a little, but they're going. And these are, I think, a Lola pepper. Not sure. But look at the difference in the strawberries here. And I have ginger back in there. The strawberries inside are beautiful. They're doing great. And we're hoping to make a whole bed of them in the greenhouse. Finish out up here. We're going to take them up, add more dirt, and bring it all up and fill this whole bed with strawberries. So these are looking absolutely beautiful. They started blooming a little bit and then kind of kicked back. But the color, the leaves, everything's gorgeous in here compared to the ones outside in the heat. So that's a tour of the black shade cloth. It's hanging in there. It's usually about 5 degrees to 10 degrees cooler than the white. It's hard to imagine, but they're side by side. You can leave this greenhouse and go into the white shade cloth, which is mine, and you notice a considerable difference. We had lots of people ask, and it is very, very hot in mine compared to this one. Here in between the two greenhouses, Danny left a fig tree, and look at this. Lots and lots of figs still on this fig tree. We're hoping we can beat the birds when these start coming in and have figs from this tree. This tree is huge also. It covers in between both greenhouses. And it's going to be late, I guess, compared to the others. The other figs are gone. And this one is just now getting good sized figs on it. The white shade cloth greenhouse is always bright. That's one thing I love about it. Compared to the other one is darker. This one is always bright and just looks better to me. But it is warmer. It's always warmer in here. Now, my ferns are still growing, still going. We've got the turmeric and ginger kicking it here. These are the, I think, pink-eyed purple hulls on this side. And we do have an ant problem here. I'm going to tell y'all that. They're wanting to eat my peas here. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. We've got to figure that one out. They're eating everything. Every time a bloom comes on, they're eating it. I can show you right here. When the bloom comes on, they start nibbling on it. I just washed them all off. But it's going to be detrimental to me getting any type of peas on this side. It's only this one bed, and so we're going to have to do something to get this under control. This is the Cherokee tan. You still see all the yellow? I have trimmed leaves, trimmed things, but look, pumpkins, little ones going in and out. This thing just keeps going. I trim it, and it just keeps going. And you see it's still putting on little ones. I miss some off and on, but they're still in here. The bees are going crazy. I've got one ready down here. We're going to be taking off soon. I saw another one somewhere that we were going to be taking off, but overall, the bees love it. The Cherokee tan has just bloated out of the water. I probably have about 10 inside, a couple that's ready to go in, 4 or 5 that are green and good size, and I don't know, 10 or 12 little bitty ones on this. So the Cherokee tan has done wonderful in here. We have my Star of David okras fixing to start blooming. I'm trying to keep the ants out of this, but the grasshoppers got in it. So I'm going to have to see if I can find a grasshopper somewhere. He's eating my leaves. But overall, it is doing really good in here and getting ready to bloom. So we're going to have okra in the greenhouse again this year. One of my flowers is coming out. This is the Egyptian walking onion. Somebody asked. They're not to the stage to start separating again. All right, this is my peppercorns. And like I showed you last time, they have little bitty things coming out in them. And I just saw somebody flying through there that don't need to be here. I don't know where he went. Maybe he'll go out the door. The peppercorns are starting to take off, and I'm keeping the Cherokee tan trimmed. I'm up to almost up to the top here with the peppercorns, and I'll trim these leaves off here so that the peppercorn can keep going. Then I have my lantana. It's just a beautiful spot of orange and yellows here in this end. The petunias here, the other peppercorn, it has nothing to detour it, so it is up to here. It's not quite up to the top yet, but it too, see? It's all in there. Isn't that beautiful? And then we have the red ripper peas. They're finally making some headway. Some of them are up over, but they're not doing as well because I guess they're not getting the sun. I don't know. But then look at the black-eyed peas. Y'all, I got peas everywhere on this side because the ants aren't bothering them. They're starting to come out and do really well. They're blooming everywhere. It's just a difference in where they're at and what's bothering them. So we'll see on the other side, because I've got quite a few peas here already with no ant problem, and they're starting to bloom. So the three different types of peas we have going, the pink eyes, the black eyes, and the red rippers, all have different ways they're doing. None of them are the same, but we do hope to have some peas and see that we can grow peas in a greenhouse. Now here was where I planted peanuts. I planted peanuts twice, and you can see these look a little droopy because these are down, but this is not peanuts. I planted the jungle peanuts, they didn't come up. I planted Virginia fancies, they didn't come up. This is radishes. I just decided, hey, I need some radishes, and when I watered, I kind of watered them down, but they'll stand back up. This is my corner with aloes plant starters. Miss Slippy gave me some Confederate, I think it's Confederate rose. I got several of those going. They did hang on with the roots. I'm also rooting her some of the aloe. This is an aloe that she gave me, so I'm sending her some back because she lost some of hers. We do have some onions. I have one peppercorn plant here. I found an extra one by mine, so I took it out. We're rooting it. And this was one tea tree. I have tea trees on the other end, and I'm putting this one in a pot. I'm going to go get the others and start them. This side of the Cherokee tans is just like the other. Just blooms, pumpkins everywhere. You can see how it's doing. And then we have plants on the end hanging. This is our Trail of Tears. Y'all, it is all the way to the ceiling. I can't even get those beans. Danny comes in here occasionally and climbs and gets beans. But look, the three plants that were really the originals have taken off. The younger plants are starting to fill in some, and you see down low, I'm fixing to have blooms. So some of the younger plants are kicking it and filling in, because you see, I've got three here and there was only one. This is the original. This one came out, this one came out, this one, you see how many filled in? This was the original, so all these have filled in, and you see blooms all up, and they've all mingled here. So I've got blooms in here, and they're starting to kick it in the middles with this one. This one is still, some of it's died out, which is okay because we've got all these coming on. This is an original. You see some of it's died out, but you see the new going up, and a new one over there going up, and look, blooms all the way up. I think it's amazing. So I've harvested quite a few Trail of Tears, and I'm letting them all dry, taking them in. See, I have some here that are green. I'm just letting them dry, all of them dry. Then I planted some things here and had no luck in here with anything coming up. But this one lonely eggplant, I think, Danny said he thinks is an eggplant. Every time it put on leaves, something was eating them off. Finally, it's got a few leaves in the top. We're going to just leave it and see. I planted cotton, had no luck, but look, finally one little cotton plant came up, and we're just going to leave it. We're going to see what happens. I know it's late in the season, but this is a greenhouse, and we're going to see what happens. On each side here of this trellis, I planted the mums, and they're just growing like crazy. Got a little ginger behind it. Everything I planted here has not worked except cucumbers, so we went back to 2 cucumbers, and look, in 1 week they're already up to this tall. I can't wait. We'll have fresh cucumbers hopefully in here. Then my onion chives are doing great, and the wild lettuce, it's just kind of kicking it and going. And that is a look at Wanda's queen dome with the white shade cloth, what's going on in it. We will be doing some swapping and changing over the next few months. As these Cherokee tans come out, we'll be getting rid of their vines. Once the peas, all of them get through, we'll take them out, and we'll get this greenhouse ready for fall. And we will have 2 greenhouses side by side here with fall plants. Some of this will be plants that will go year-round. This greenhouse I'm hoping to turn into a lot of plants that will go year-round. We'll see. I'll just see how I can do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed both greenhouses and the raised beds outside. We'll talk to you later. Thank you from Crazy Days.